Bama blood guys that I exposed, the guy that wanted to jump in my comments and start talking ish when I knew nothing about him, the same guy that was supposed to have married damn homie, right? The same guy that she discovered like a lot of chili on his hot dog. A lot. Insanely amount of chili on his hot dog. Eat candy off each other's belly buttons and all that, right? I exposed all that. That's a fact. But these guys is part of the gay boy gangsters. That's a fact. And it ain't just them, it's motherfuckers from all Crips and Bloods. That's part of that. A lot of those guys used to be on the main line. A lot of them used to be on the main line. A lot of them was undercover on the main line when they was on the main line, right? But when their boyfriends got ran off and ended up over there on the other side, on the 50-50 side, on the SNY PC side, some of them that wasn't even discovered threw in the towel and found their boyfriends over there before dudes was actually able to get to them. Chasing the Buddhists. Real butt pirates. So when people was talking and saying how soft prison is, I agree. Prison has changed over the years from when I first came in 1991 up until now, right? Prison has changed drastically. No, it's nothing. It's not as intense as it used to be. Due in part to it not being a lot of racial tension and riots and deaths when it comes to that aspect of prison. Due to it not being, just willy-nilly where things are tolerated like how it used to be in the 80s where dudes was able to lay up with other dudes. Right? Dudes actually catching cases, catching new life sentences on these level 4 general population yards, right? Which is why these dudes say, oh, all they do is politic on those yards. They're mad, they angry, they want to wreck the young homies and this and that and blah, 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 right? Go over to the 50-50 and come home. It's okay. Just don't go back to that level 4 yard if you do that, though. So y'all people have great minds out there. Y'all really do. So anytime y'all hear any of these guys, whether it's a PC, a dropout, a guy that, they don't call it PC. The PCs don't call it PC no more. They call it 50-50 yards, right? And they've conditioned y'all to start calling the PC yards 50-50. So y'all can understand exactly what I'm talking about when I say SNY and PC and all that, right? When I say 50-50, that's exactly what I'm saying. Protective custody. Sensitive needs. You feel me? So look. Now, these guys, they advocate and they campaign against people like myself. Oh, the 50-50 yards is way more dangerous than the level 4 yards. Well, it's more dangerous because it's dangerous of anything, any possible thing happening because they have no structure. They have no discipline. They have no rules. The things that they got kicked off the main line level 4 yards for, they can now do openly over there on the 50-50 yard like lay with men. Like selly up with other men that has a sweet tooth for underage candy, if you know what I mean. They are perfectly fine and comfortable with living with these type of people. No problems, no issues. They go over there. And like I said, what makes that environment so dangerous is because anything can happen at any given time behind any single thing. The same things that once transpired on the main line, starting in the 80s, leading into the 90s. The things that was tolerated then, they got bop, stabbed up, and booted off the main line for. Now they over there and they don't have to live under those rules and structures no more. So yeah, a dude might end up dead behind another man that this man is in love with. Oh, he might. You feel me? But make no mistake about this, man. The same guys that talk all this shit about the general population mainline yards, right? Why? If the main lines are so soft, right, and not like how it was in the 80s, right, in comparisons, right, why do y'all advise y'all young homies to go over to the 50-50 yards, but don't go back to a level 4? Why do y'all advise them like that? If it's so soft, why do y'all advise them? Yeah, go over to the 50. Just don't go to the 50-50 yard, but just don't go back to the level 4. Why do y'all advise them like that? If in comparisons to what was going on in the 80s, it's night and day, in which I agree. However, this environment is still what it is. It's still a level 4 general population mainline yard. People still will lose their life on those level 4 yards at any given time. Y'all got to remember, man, a lot of the people that they once had housed up in Pelican Bay in them shoe programs for all those years, all that time, right? 20, 25, 30 years up there in that dungeon. That was a real dungeon. You know, some there just because, you know, they was accused of being part of prison disruptive gang, meaning under paperwork. Snatch them up off the yard due to a confidential informant, get them off the yard, send them up there, and they be up there for years with an indeterminate shoe because of STG. For years. Now out, back on the main lines. A lot of influence, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. Some have multiple homicides under their belt that they caught in prison, outside of what they were sentenced to prison for. And no, that's not bragging about nothing, because again, I encourage y'all, if you have your freedom, man, to look at your freedom as a privilege, because anything in life can happen that can lead you to this prison cell. Take what I'm telling y'all about what prison is and was into deep consideration on whatever moves you plan on making that can jeopardize your freedom and take you out of free society and land you in a prison cell like this one that I'm in right now, that I've been in going on 32 years straight. Take it all into deep consideration, man. This ain't bragging about prison and none of that shit. This is to educate. That's what we do. We bring this shit here to educate. You feel me? And hopefully inspire y'all. No, I don't want none. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of that shit. This is what's really been going on up in here. Why these other dudes that say they was in prison back in the early 80s, why they don't talk about all the aspects of this shit? How back then, hey, it was so bad, we was like, fuck, we don't want no homosexuals working in the kitchen. None. Really, that's when we start pushing lines on them, that was one of the first things. They can't work in the kitchen. We don't want them touching none of the food, none of that shit. Get them up out of there. Because the truth of the matter is, the homosexuals didn't have a problem with getting cracking anywhere at any given time with anybody that was into that shit. They didn't have a problem with it, including it could have been in the kitchen or anything. Right? So how the fuck, what makes you think we're going to allow these dudes to be in there touching on the food that dudes have to consume, knowing that they getting down like that, and knowing that dudes that was into that shit didn't have a problem with encouraging that shit? Nah, get them the fuck up out of there. That was the first start of we're not going for it. And then everything else fell into place. Facts. $60 Deuce 2 said, very unfortunate, we are in the same boat. Urinonically get the bag. Salute, man. Glad you was able to make it to the round table, Brody. He said, Harold is not from Blackstones. He's never even got his official 5 men. They only accepting him because he's paying the homies. Hey, salute to you. You're damn. Unironically get the bag. Salute to you, Brody. Glad you was able to make the live, Brody. I heard that before. I heard somebody say that before, right? And hey, I believe it because of how he getting down. You know, I know all the real members from Blackstones, Brody, would never endorse no dude like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm telling you, I got a cold video of this guy right now in the cut, right? Of him trying to get one of y'all young homies to admit some shit on camera. He's screen recording the conversation of them on FaceTime. You know what I'm saying? Dude is a real cop, a real police. You know what I mean? I ain't put it out. You know what I mean? But hey, just to let you know, he bad business.